Hey guys, welcome back. Joe Brunsman, insurance broker to the stars. So, if you are sitting there and you feel like you have this little black cloud that's just been sitting over your brain for seemingly ever at this point, months on end, and it's just this dread of everything that's going on in the world, and you're like, God, and the pressure is just crushing, and you're like, God, this is terrible. And you have clients making irrational decisions and leaving and selling out. I mean, even in my own business, I've probably had more of my clients sell their business in the last 6 months than the last like 5 years combined. I mean, it has just been a tidal wave of people throwing it in, taking their money, and getting out. Well, I'm here to tell you there's a lot we can look at that says, yes, the dread is real. No, you're not alone. I'm going to talk about some scientific principles I think you need to understand. They're going to help you out. I'm going to try and give you some tools on how to navigate this moving forward and best deal with those possible problem clients. Now, why is it that everything feels unstable? Well, initially, me being the good nerd that I am, I thought about the Foundation trilogy from Isaac Asimov, in particular, Harry Seldon and his psychohistory. If you have not read those books, you are a bad nerd. You need to read those books. They are absolutely phenomenal, and the TV show sucks. Fight me. It does. But as we're looking here, Strauss and Howe, their book, The Fourth Turning, they talk more about social mood. Kondratiev, classic, economic and technology cycles. Turchin talks about institutional breakdowns. Freidman discusses why governing philosophies become obsolete. And Ray Dalio, super rich, famous guy currently, talks about financial and market timing. What are they all saying right now? They're all saying what you're feeling, which is this shit sucks. This is hard. So where are we at right now? This little dashed vertical line, that's where we're at now. If you go back to the left in time, you'll see this kind of, I guess, salmon color if we're being hip. That's the crisis disintegration phase. So if you're sitting there going, God, it just feels like everything is crumbling. Like, what am I supposed to do with AI and the uncertainty with that, and tariffs and the uncertainty with that, and supply chain issues, and all my favorite vendors getting purchased by private equity, and now all of a sudden they suck. So I got to deal with all that stuff again. And then you got employees are stressed out, and it's just this never-ending seeming doom loop of crazy. Well, this puts it into visual where you go, wow, yeah, this has sucked for a long time. Like, this has been building for a very long time. Now, the good news is if you look over to the right, you'll see the gray boxes. That's our uncertainty band, the transition range. But there is the green. So what does this kind of show us in picture form? We go, hey, you know what? I'm still alive. This has been getting worse for a long time, but I haven't died yet. Could it get a little bit worse in the near future? Yeah, it probably could. I think a lot of the models show that, yeah, this could get a lot worse. But then what's on the other end of that? Things get better. Now, this isn't to say, we're all going to be singing Kumbaya, drinking Mai Tais and Tahiti on a beach somewhere, laughing about my wonderful YouTube videos. But it does mean that this too shall pass. All right. So this feeling of dread and all this crazy uncertainty, we're going to get over it. Things are going to get better. So just hang in there. Now, you apply these models historically. Guess when they last overlapped like this? 1776 to 1794 and 1929 to 1945. Now, to quote my favorite comedian, Norm Macdonald, I don't know if you guys are history buffs or not, but those were two not wonderful times to be alive, I would say, in the history of humanity. But what happened on the other end of that? Awesome things, new things were built, wonderful technologies were brought forth. We kind of broke through this stagnant awfulness. We got rid of all these, antiquated ideas and moved on to something new and better. So yeah, we're in one of those moments right now. I'll say it again. This shit sucks. This is a lot of stress for a business owner. So we're living in a moment when those foundational rules of society and the economy and power, they're all being rewritten. And as business owners, what do we want? stability. We don't want instability, but we're just living in one of those times, so we have to learn how to deal with it. These are deep structural problems that has to be addressed. These are not kind of incidental one-offs. So the good news is, like I said before, yes, all these models predict it will be resolved. They don't say how it'll be resolved. They don't give me an exact date of when they're going to be resolved, but they all point back to the bar will turn green eventually. Now let's talk about that psychology of MSP ownership / SMB ownership. Now, regular employees, what does the science say? You have, tariffs, and then you have gas prices, and you have cost of living increase and grocery increase costs, and right, et cetera. These are just stressors that add on top of each other, which does suck. But for ownership, it's a special kind of hell for us, where for us, the science says these things feel like this existential threat to our very existence. Why? Because to a large degree, our business is our identity. I mean, we spend so much time on this. I mean, we spend more time on our business than we do with our families in most respects. Now, we chose this, but that is to say that stress for us tends to multiply as opposed to add. So we have to keep that in mind. Yes, the highs are higher. I think we can all agree to that, but man, are the lows. The lows are lower in a way that I think probably the average employee just doesn't understand until they're sitting in our chairs. Now, further on with the research for entrepreneurs, that's us, elevated levels of depression, ADHD, anxiety, and burnout compared to the general population. Documented symptoms include sleeplessness. Thankfully, I don't have that. Fear of failure. I blame the military for that. I've been carrying that my whole life. And decision fatigue. I think we've all sat there and we're just like, oh my God, if somebody could please just make a decision now, it would make everything better. Or if I could just have someone to make these decisions, at least for a week, just give my brain some time to rest, it'd be amazing. Well, it's not going to happen. Now, hustle culture has made it worse, where it has tried to tie our self-worth to our business performance. That is amplifying our vulnerability as entrepreneurs. And what I like to call the weight. I think we all know what that is. If you're a business owner, this crushing weight that we volunteered to pick up, where we said, hey, I will ultimately be responsible for payroll and making sure you get paid and you can pay your mortgage and you can feed your family. We're going to trade that responsibility for your time inside the office, but it is heavy. Now, keep in mind that if you're feeling all this, well, your clients are feeling it too. And what does that mean? It means they're going to do stupid things. And we've seen a whole lot of that. And the subreddit is replete with examples of this stuff. So yeah, they may fire you and it'll be completely irrational. I mean, I had 2 clients like in the last month that I had helped out in so many different ways, in ways that I'm like, there's no conceivable chance that some idiot insurance guy could do this. And I helped them to the nth degree. And it came time for insurance renewal and they just let me go. And I was furious because my retention rate, at least for my profession, I mean, it is phenomenal, like class leading retention. So I get pissed when people leave. But I'm going to tell you a specific thing, a specific term that kind of got me out of that funk. Now, when people are feeling all this crushing weight and uncertainty, psychology tells us that what do people do? They lash out for something that they can control. And in that case, that might be your contract. So they go, hey, I can't control a lot right now, but you know what? I'm the CFO and I got to find something to dig my claws into. And well, you just happen to be the target of opportunity right now. So it may have nothing to do with your actual performance or the performance of your team. So don't take it that hard. Now, remember the mirror effect. So as you're going out there with clients, if you're a big ball of stress and anxiety and you are going bald out of just all the crushing pressure coming down on you, your clients, your family, your employees, subconsciously, they're going to start mirroring that as well. And that is not what you want to have happen. So you also need to take time to go, okay, as a business decision, I will take care of myself. I will carve out time for myself to make sure that this mirror effect, if nothing else, the mirror effect does not sink the ship. Let's talk about loss aversion. So I mentioned those 2 clients and I was just over the moon angry. I had to remind myself, hey, the pain of loss is 2x the intensity of an equivalent gain. So as I'm sitting here just pissed, I remember this concept called loss aversion. And why am I so pissed? Because you know what? I wasted a lot of time helping those guys, as it turns out. That revenue, like in the past hour with 2 new people that were so excited to come work with me. I'm like, what am I doing here? I'm like, okay, now that I can put a name to that issue, now I can just chuck it out the window. You have to think about reframing the issue so that clients fear losing their IT stability more than they value a cheaper alternative, right? So you can use loss aversion to your own benefit within your own business. Now, use this, please, in retention conversations. And you have to remember that when we're reframing, because of the time that we're in, you are not selling features. You are not selling a stack. If you want to wax nerd poetic about the latest EDR whiz bang feature, I mean, hit me up, but your average SMB client isn't going to care. You're now in the business of selling stability and proactive problem solving. So you should be going to those clients and you saying, hey, I know everybody's worried about AI. So here's what we're doing to help you guys with that problem, right? We're coming out with this new AI services and we'll come in and we'll help you make sure that your business is on the leading edge. And we'll bring in experts to talk about how each person uses AI, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's a great place to be. And you can add to the calm in the room as opposed to the craziness. Now, yeah, it's a wild time, but like, here's what I tell clients, and I've been saying this for years. And that's, yeah, it's a wild time, but you know what? I'm going to be here for 30 years. So if I can't work with you right now, that's okay. I'll work with you next year. That's fine. I'm never going to sell to private equity. I'll be damned before I work for the man again. I'll never do that. I'll go start a sidewalk cleaning business and go out there with a pressure sprayer before I ever work for the man again. So it's like, hey, I'm in no hurry. I'll help you out in the meantime. And then we're good. And that has been highly successful for me over the years. Here's some of the armor I think you guys need to consider. So there's 3 main, absolutely non-negotiables that I think every MSP needs to get squared away to be that foundation for their business so that they know, hey, if everything goes sideways, I still got this. One is your MSA and your SOW. Please get those things updated. Here's an example. If your client sues, what happens to the contract? Does your MSA contemplate that? What's the enforcement mechanism? That's just an example of things that traditionally were not always in MSAs that now you really need to have inside of them, right? Same with AI usage, et cetera. So please get your MSA and your SOW updated. Next, your insurance. Yes, I know I'm an insurance guy. It seems self-serving. I can't be the insurance guy for everything, but I want you guys to have that foundation that if they lash out emotionally and they decide to sue you, even though it's their fault that they got hit, I want you to be able to sit there and go, okay, yes, this sucks. No, this is not fun. It's not going to be fun for quite some time. However, the most I'm out of pocket, it's just going to be my deductible. So it's not like I'm looking at the precipice of a 6-figure settlement coming out of my savings account or my retirement account. It's, all right, you know what? $2,500, $5,000, depends on the size of your MSP. Could be higher than that. You go, that's all I got. That's it. Okay, I'm good. I can deal with that. Finally is risk management and risk transference. So documented processes, we've seen this time and again in the literature, it reduces anxiety. It's that anxiety reduction wonder pill. So if you need help with that, I will link to it right above. You can watch my risk management framework for MSP ownership. So it takes a lot of that mental load of decision-making off your shoulders. Now, when a client fires you, and inevitably they will, so just be ready. You want to make sure it's on your terms, not their terms. This is once again where your MSA comes into play, and you need to have specificity here. You want to handle this divorce of sorts so that it protects you legally, preserves your reputation, and occasionally you might win those guys back. So I'll get to that here in a second. But you want to go, okay, this is what it is. I remember loss aversion. I understand the times that we're in right now where things are just going to suck. I need to handle this professionally. I need to make sure my rights are preserved. I need to make sure that my MSA is up to date and I am duly compensated for the work that I have done as an MSP. Now, as a quick aside, because I had to get on my soapbox on this one, whenever people say it's not personal, it's business, bullshit. Our business is our baby. It is always personal when you are an SMB owner. Now, that being said, I'm sure you guys have heard this. I heard this from one of those two yahoos within the last month. I'm like, God, what they don't know, which I thought this would be kind of an interesting, little funny aside for you, so that next time some idiot spouts this off, you can have a little chuckle. This is actually attributed to a guy named Otto Berman, who was the bookie for a mobster in the 1930s. And if it makes you feel any better, he ended up getting gunned down by Lucky Luciano's gunman, allegedly. So, well, he did die. But suffice to say, the guy who made this term popular, it didn't end well for him. And I think we could say anyone who's willing to use that line, they're probably bad people too. Now, in the moments when you get that notification, please don't lash out. Man, have I seen some wild stuff MSPs have said in the MSP subreddit. Even if you want to, even if you're justified, please don't do it. I've been in the same shoes as you with those two guys. I'm like, I'm going to give them a piece of their mind. And I was furious. I didn't. They are stressed. You are a target of convenience. So take it for what it's worth. I want you guys to acknowledge this professionally. Go, hey, sorry to hear that. I want to make sure this transition goes smoothly. Here are the stipulations in our MSA, right? Just list them out line by line. Enforce what you enforce. And don't panic. Loss aversion works on you too. Don't let that MRR push you into some weird situation or some terrible arrangement. LPL specifically comes to mind right now. Don't get pigeonholed into bad places, all right? Don't panic. It's just MRR. You can make up the money. Now, one thing I think that has been very useful for me that you guys could use as well is write down exactly what you would tell them. Like if you could get them face to face and just give them the business, write that down, set it on fire the next day. Don't send it. But for some reason, like it really helps to kind of like get that anger out, to be like, ah, and then you go, okay, it's out, it's done, time to get back into professional mode. I think that'll really help you out a lot. Now, offboarding. Enforce that MSA professionally. It's a legal contract, and now you are enforcing legal provisions. If they decided they don't want to play nice anymore, okay, well, that's on them. But now you're like, this is exactly what you agreed to. This is what my MSA says. Enforce it, but enforce it professionally. Provide clean documentation and just be so damn amazing at offboarding that they're going to regret leaving. I don't want you guys to give the incoming MSP any type of ammunition to talk bad about you. I think too many people, because it's a natural human reaction, it's like, we're going to lash out. And then it just comes back to bite us in the butt later on. So don't do that. You just want to be damn amazing at this. If you're still pissed, hey, write down exactly what it is you would tell them, then throw it into your favorite AI and say, make this super kind and professional. And then it'll translate all of that for you. So loss aversion will always make this feel worse than it is. Hey, we're humans. We're not robots. I'm not Spock. Well, I'm not a Trekkie either, but right, we're humans. We're not robots. So yeah, this is going to suck, especially at this time. It's probably going to hurt more than it did 5 years ago when a client left. But it's just what it is. So remember loss aversion and that 2x multiple. And once you can put a name to something, it's a lot easier to control that. So let's talk about, hey, we've talked about kind of doom and gloom so far. How do you protect your good clients? What do I think are some key issues for you to assist with here? One, Pareto's reality. 20% of your clients probably generate about 80% of revenue and probably about 100% of your job satisfaction. The rest are kind of typically just hangers on. So, it's very easy as humans to just get into this hole of like, how dare they and how could they? And then you go, you know what? I'm like, I have hundreds of other clients that are perfectly wonderful people that take my advice, that are happy to speak with me, that return my emails on time, right? They would never leave me for some random knucklehead who knows nothing but it's cheaper, right? So do you. So you have two options here. You can either A, focus on the negative, or B, focus on the other guys that actually make your job worthwhile. So don't underinvest in your best clients by putting all that energy into your worst clients. As a kind of aspirational here, I would say you probably know who your 3 best clients are right now. Just call them. So if you're the MSP owner and you have people between you and them and you have guys doing QBRs, right? And you haven't spoken to those 3 best clients in a while, just check in with those guys, see how they're doing, see what they're thinking, right? Reinforce those relationships. At the end of the day, I could teach you everything I know about insurance. It wouldn't be that hard. It doesn't take that long. I'm not building rockets, but you don't want to learn it. Just like you could do the same thing teaching technology to your clients, but they don't want to learn it. They want to go do something else. So at the end of the day, yes, this is a people business and we are selling trust. They have to trust what you do. And that all starts with the foundation of person to person. QBRs, I want you guys to start viewing those as your relationship insurance. So if you've been kind of sliding on that, you know who you are, or if your clients have been like, don't worry about it. Don't worry. Don't take the time. We're good, blah, blah, blah. I would say throw that out the window and really start hammering on those QBRs so that you can get in front of those clients and really assist them. You want to be a partner in all the crazy that's going on. You want to be the rock, not just some other random vendor. And segment your clients. You're going to know, hey, who's that top 20%? That's awesome. Those are your A clients. Okay, who are your B clients where you go, they're not great. They're not awful. They help pay the bills. We'll keep them around. And then everybody knows who their C clients are, just those absolute pains where every time they put in a trouble ticket, you just die a little on the inside because you got to talk to those people. You might want to plan on offboarding them before they offboard you because that's just where the world is headed at the moment. Now, your resilience matters. So you need to start thinking about this as a business decision, particularly sleep. Now, if I learned one thing at the Naval Academy, it's A, there's a lot of people out there that are way smarter than myself. And then B, if I just don't sleep, damn, I can do a lot, get a lot accomplished and go pretty far. But now I'm 40 and sleeping 3 hours a night, that sucks. And I don't do well the next day. So at this moment in time with so many more variables than just about any other time in human history, obviously much more complexity, and you were dealing with technical systems, having this impaired suboptimal decision making, that is not a good place to be. Also, people get pissed when they're sleepy, so you don't want to be there either. So protect your sleep. Start making that a business decision where you go, I have to do this for my business. Just banging my head against the wall, it's not going to make anything better. Next, isolation is optional. So talk to your peers, talk to your fellow business owners. They'll probably all tell you if you bring it up. They're like, God, yeah, it just feels like everything is in slow motion collapse. Like, can the asteroid just hit the earth already so we can start rebuilding? Next, do something that has absolutely nothing to do with generating MRR and technology. So I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I go swimming with my family. And then no pun intended, religiously go to church on Sundays. Those are my outlets, right? That's where I get to go be creative and do things and have fun and just kind of be responsible for not a lot more. And I don't have to worry about all the other stuff that's going on in the world. Next, hey, just go help someone. There's a lot of people in this world. I know you're sitting there and you're like, God, this sucks. But you just take a look around. You go, man, there's a lot of people having a lot worse go of it than I am right now. Just go help someone. it'll make you feel better. Even if it's a random person, you hold a door open for an old lady and she smiles at you, you might have made her day. You might have kept her ticking for that day. So just go help somebody. Makes the world a better place, and it's free. All right, moving forward. Remember that one framework, it's irrelevant, but 5 all pointing to the same thing, which is this sucks. Nah, that's a sign. Now, this is a turbulent time. You're not just dreaming it up. It's not just you. It's not just your MSP. So keep that in mind. The psychology says you're going to feel it more intensely because you chose to build a thing, because you are an entrepreneur. So build that foundation, protect those good clients, and handle the exits with class. Just remember, this too shall pass, and kindness is free. You don't need MRR to just be kind to somebody. So just go be kind. The world is already full of shitty, awful people who all think they're the most important thing. They all have main player syndrome or whatever. Don't be one of those guys. Just go help a person. Kindness is free. Goes a long way. All right, folks, with that, hope you enjoyed it. If you click actually right above me here, I will put my MSP ownership framework. And if you click over there, you can subscribe to my channel. All right, guys, with that, hope you feel better. Be kind. Stay safe.